What is up, Helldivers? I'm back with a bit of a different video today. Playing Helldivers 2 a lot recently. This is where I got this absolutely gritty battle footage you're about to see. And I realized I wanted to look up more lore and, what I was playing, really. And then I was like, you know what? I should make a video on what I'm looking up, because this is pretty dope. It's kind of goofy. With all that being said, let's get into the lore of Super Earth, which is what I want to focus on today. So let's get into our stellar beginnings for Super Earth. The year 2084 marked humanity's bold leap into the cosmic arena, where we inevitably encountered alien life. Our introduction was brief, quickly escalating into our inaugural intergalactic conflict, as we perceived these aliens as potential threats. Over 4 decades, humanity valiantly clashed with 3 alien races, all seemingly bent on our destruction. In this tumultuous era, we were first introduced to the Helldivers, and as the Helldivers, this is in the first game, they emerged as a formidable force, battle-hardened, from previous conflicts, and ready to defend Super Earth. Now, where we're at in Helldivers 2, roughly 100 years later, and we actually won those wars, and one of those species is no longer with us. If you've played the game, you know likely which one I'm talking about, but we'll get into that a little later on. Before we dive feet first into the topic of the aliens, let's talk Super Earthian politics and society. So, our society has basically evolved beyond traditional democracies. We essentially improved a ton on the traditional concepts of democratic society by inventing a computer-aided voting software that will prompt the voting populace in the booths with several questions. Based on the outcome of their answers, this incredibly advanced software selects the outcome of their vote. This allegedly removed uncertainty that was present in older models of voting, where the voters didn't really get what was going on and who they were electing. This new streamlined structure of democracy is what they dubbed as managed democracy. It is what Super Earth operates on to this day. So just some interesting noteworthy points. It is apparently illegal to talk about the government of Super Earth in a bad light, and egregious violations result in arrests or terminations. I'm assuming that means executions. It is overheard in game that a soldier's son's neighbor pressed charges on him for not respecting the flag. The galactic wide web is always watched by Super Earth to keep out for alien sympathizers. Entire squads of Helldivers, even, who are the most loyal citizens on Super Earth, have apparently been executed by the government for being alien sympathizers. It's tough out there, guys. Alright, now that we've talked about the society and politics of Super Earth, let's talk about the aliens and the conflicts that we've had with them. So, in the first game, there were 3 races of aliens that we fought. The Bugs, aka the Terminids, the Cyborgs, and the Illuminate. The Illuminate are very obviously not in the sequel. That is, well, because we decimated their people and yoinked their faster-than-light technology. Actually, we emerged victorious over each alien race, but that's kind of the point. There are endless cycles of war and victory for the machine that is Super Earth to continue churning. Anyway, the Illuminate, or Squith, I believe is how it's pronounced, were an extragalactic race which had colonized the galaxy for thousands of years. They were enlightened beings as well. They came from the oceans, and they made use of bioelectronics and nano-powered devices, and allegedly would sting to the touch. We first encountered them in the late 21st century when they offered us an olive branch shortly after meeting us. We declined after discovering they had obliterator bombs, which are basically just planet glassers. We decided it was time for a preemptive strike and attacked. Sympathizers of the Squith were and are publicly executed. Their technology that we took after forcing a treaty and we forced a treaty with them and then just decimated them. But that propelled us into what is known as the Great Democratization. We use their faster than light travel basically to propel us into the stars, and conveniently, their tech hinges on the steady usage of substance E-710, which can be found in decayed Terminid bodies. That leads us into the Terminids. They are large bugs, just like insects on Earth, but huge. They are sentient and a species supposedly from Kepler Prime, which is a desert planet on the eastern rim of the galaxy. They generate a ton of this substance E-710, basically oil, when they decompose. So we obviously waged war on them for it. The pumps that we initially created on their homeworld allegedly led to their invasion and attacks on Super Earth. Lots of propaganda displays the Terminids infesting the entire galaxy. When the war was won against the Terminids, we turned them into a farmable resource, which provided a pretty much limitless supply of E-710. Obviously, from what you can see in Helldivers 2, wrangling these suckers for safe breeding, as Super Earth puts it, is much easier said than done. Now let's get into the Cyborgs, or automatons, as they would want you to believe. These guys are real interesting. The Helldivers 2 Cyborgs are obviously not what we see in Helldivers 1. Cyborgs, traditionally known to the Super Earth citizens, were a nation of cybernetically altered humans. They lived in a barren and snowy wasteland called Cyberstan, out in the galactic rim. Super Earth would apparently repeatedly just conquer Cyberstan, and the reasoning behind said conquering was apparently just made up like terrorist attacks on Super Earth. They would just say, hey, they're blowing us up, and then they'd go invade Cyberstan. That's how it went. Their populace would then forcibly be democratized by Super Earth. They'd be taken to voting booths, and if they didn't comply, then Super Earth would just take away their civil rights. We would station troops there for like 5 years to keep the peace and run government positions. But after that, the Cyborgs would inevitably just revolt. Now in Helldivers 2, these automatons, as they've been called, are using the same Cyberstan logo, and they look way more evil than before. Not sure what they have in store, but these are some bad Larrys that we got to watch out for. That kind of wraps up my video, y'all. That's really all I could find on Super Earth origins and the lore of Super Earth. I hope y'all found it somewhat goofy or informative. Like, there's just a ton of stuff about this world that I find so interesting and funny. Like, apparently each Super Earth citizen is issued a rifle when they turn 16, and this is apparently to like get kids to go into the military. It's fucking hilarious, and they want them used to using a firearm on them bugs. I can't wait to really just keep learning more about this world as I immerse myself in the community. And as I keep playing, there's so much that I feel like this game has to offer, especially with the community-wide progression and the promise that the devs have to really keep developing the story along with that. So, that's pretty much all I have for y'all. But thanks for watching if you stuck around this long, and please like and subscribe for more.